This is Mac OS Ken.
Apple and China news. Hi crazy by tweet and tweaking Apple's crash detection. It is Thursday, the 1st of December, 2022. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from Mac OS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by Rocket Money. Cancel unwanted subscriptions and save at rocketmoney.com/MOK. This show is also sponsored by Simply Safe, the right way to protect your home at the biggest discount of the year. The holidays are truly upon us, a time of giving and receiving, unless you're a bad guy, in which case it's a time of taking and stealing. This time of year, property crimes like burglaries and package thefts spike all across the country. That is why the good people at Simply Safe Home Security are offering 50% off their award-winning security system, so you can enjoy advanced security and greater peace of mind this holiday season. You've heard me say for years why I love Simply Safe. I love the customization. You pick just what you need to keep your home safe, because who knows your home better than you? You also set it up yourself, which is super simple. Took me less than an hour to get my sensors, keypad, and base station up and running. Not that you're on your own. For less than $1 a day, the Simply Safe team keeps an eye out for issues 24/7, sending emergency services as soon as they are needed. Don't miss your chance for massive savings on a great security system. Get 50% off any new system at simplysafe.com/macOSKen today. This is their biggest discount of the year. SIMPLI. That's simplysafe.com/macOSKen. There's no safe like Simply Safe. Zhengzhou is open for business again. At least it was yesterday. Cult of Mac highlights a CNN report saying the Chinese government lifted the COVID-19 lockdown in Zhengzhou, China, the location of the Foxconn facility where most iPhone Pro models are assembled. This raises the possibility that normal operations at the facility will resume soon. Oh, naivete, thy name is. Whoever wrote that. Assuming the plant gets to stay open for more than 5 minutes this time, they have tens of thousands of positions to fill. Then again, maybe it depends on your definition of the word soon. While a number of Apple watchers have decried the company's dependence on China, 9to5Mac had an interesting story Wednesday. According to that, Apple is less dependent on China than it once was. The piece cites a Reuters report saying Apple has dropped the percentage of production sites in China from about 44 to 47% in 2019 to 36% in 2021. The piece quotes Reuters saying the data shows how a diversification drive by Apple and its suppliers, with investments in India and Vietnam and increased procurement from Taiwan, the US, and elsewhere, is reshaping the global supply structure, although analysts and academics say it will remain heavily exposed to China for many years to come. It's kind of funny, not funny. The percentage of production sites term makes it sound as if they're talking about the number of places things are built. If you get that percentage down to 1, but that 1% is the iPhone City plant in Zhengzhou, yeah, that makes 1 a pretty big number. Well, look at me, cursing the darkness rather than celebrating the dawn. Yes, Apple's dependence on China is troublesome, partly because of troubled relations between China and the US, partly because of China's authoritarian government, and partly because of the dangers of putting all your eggs in one basket. Moving those eggs around, as Apple is continuing to do, should help take care of the other two. But it will take time. The piece has Eli Friedman, an associate professor at Cornell University who studies labor in China, saying the China supply chain is not going to evaporate overnight. Decoupling is just not realistic for these companies for the time being. That said, he says he does expect such diversification to accelerate. Maybe Apple CEO should mention his company's lessening dependence on China to Senator Josh Hawley. Apple Insider says the Republican senator from Missouri has written an open letter to Apple's Tim Cook, and amongst other topics is accusing the company of helping China suppress free speech. Quoting the report, Hawley has previously said that Cook and Google Sundar Pichai should be held personally accountable over privacy issues to do with coronavirus contact tracing. Now he says that Apple should cut its dependency on China, bring work back to the US, and also should not ban Twitter. Yeah, that last one might have been a made-up thing, but we'll get to that. Quoting Senator Hawley's letter, under your leadership, Apple has time and again assisted the Chinese Communist Party in surveilling and suppressing the basic human rights of the Chinese people. At the same time, it appears that Apple might be importing this model of speech control to the US. Reports indicate that your company might de-platform Twitter from the App Store as a consequence of the free speech policies implemented by new ownership. It's not reports, it's report. And one might not even be able to call it a report, instead calling it just something that Elon Musk said. But we'll get to that. Hawley's letter includes a list of questions he would like Apple to answer. Among them, according to Apple Insider, when will Apple condemn the treatment of workers in Zhengzhou? Why has it not already condemned this treatment? What are the material risks in Apple's continued dependency on China? If China invaded Taiwan, what impact would this have on Apple? And why did Apple limit AirDrop in China? Hawley's letter was dated the 29th of November. He wants answers back from Apple by the 6th of December. That really doesn't give much time for a turnaround, though. If Apple doesn't have answers for those questions at the ready, well, one imagines the company will be able to meet that short deadline. So Elon Musk's big, dumb Twitter jag against Apple earlier this week seems to have been based on little more than living into his newfound calling as the world's largest troll. He made a number of accusations against the Cupertino company on Monday. In one Twitter post, he said that Apple has mostly stopped advertising on Twitter, asking, do they hate free speech in America? In another post, he said Apple has also threatened to withhold Twitter from its App Store, but won't tell us why. Now, it seems neither of those statements was true. On the first one, the one that said Apple had mostly stopped advertising on Twitter, a piece from Gizmodo cites numbers from digital ad analytics firm Pathmatics that say, not so. That firm had Apple spending $84,615 on Twitter ads the very same day that Musk said Apple had mostly stopped advertising on Twitter. The day before that, the firm says, Apple spent a full $104,867. In fact, Gizmodo says, Apple spent $1,005,784 on Twitter ads in the first 28 days of November, already more than the company's October budget of $988,523, according to Pathmatics. As for Apple's threat to withhold Twitter from its App Store, that never happened, according to... Oh, this is embarrassing. That never happened, according to Elon Musk. Because remember, despite Senator Hawley's assertion that reports indicated Apple might pull Twitter from the App Store, it was actually just a thing that Musk tweeted. Flash forward to Wednesday, when Elon Musk posted a video to Twitter of a reflecting pool at Apple Park. Musk wasn't in it, Apple CEO Tim Cook wasn't in it, and yet it was accompanied by the message, "Thanks, @Tim Cook, for taking me around Apple's beautiful HQ." Personally, I figured the meeting between the two never happened, though Daring Fireball's John Gruber actually had the meeting confirmed by some insider. A little bird told me Cook was walking around campus with Musk, reads part of Gruber's confirmation. Not much later, at around 3 p.m. on the West Coast, Musk tweeted, good conversation. Among other things, we resolved the misunderstanding about Twitter potentially being removed from the App Store. Tim was clear that Apple never considered doing that. That prompted Wedbush analyst Daniel Ives to tweet, "Good to see Musk and Cook patch things up and resolve any issues. A step forward for both Musk and Cupertino. Looking ahead, and no more issues, it appears." And that prompted me to pound one time hard on my keyboard and start day drinking. Also, Tim Cook is now following Elon Musk on Twitter. And that prompted me to have another. More news in a moment, but first a word from today's sponsor, Rocket Money. Do you have any idea how many subscriptions you have running currently and how much they are costing you each month? Maybe you do. There's a good chance you don't. If you want to get a handle on them, see how many you've got and what you can do without, there's Rocket Money, formerly known as Truebill. The Rocket Money app shows you all of your subscriptions in one place. See some you don't use anymore or forgot you had? Rocket Money can make those a thing of the past. To cancel a subscription, all you have to do is press cancel, and Rocket Money takes care of the rest. Or you can just keep paying, I guess. Get rid of useless subscriptions with Rocket Money now. Go to rocketmoney.com/MOK. Seriously, it could save you hundreds per year. That's rocketmoney.com/MOK. Cancel your unnecessary subscriptions right now at rocketmoney.com/MOK. Apple TV Plus has offered the world a first look at its next high-profile comedy series. The Mac Observer says the Cupertino streamer has posted a teaser for its Jason Segel, Harrison Ford show, Shrinking. In a press release, the streamer says Shrinking follows a grieving therapist, played by Segel, who starts to break the rules and tell his clients exactly what he thinks. Ignoring his training and ethics, he finds himself making huge, tumultuous changes to people's lives, including his own. The video offers attitude and a sense of humor, though really nothing in terms of plot. It includes a number of actors, including Segel, bouncing into and out of view, first with frowns on their faces, then with smiles. It ends with Segel standing on a trampoline, suffering a disapproving look from Harrison Ford, who did not bounce on the trampoline. There is reason for Apple to be hopeful around this title. While Segel and Ford are no small gets, the show counts among its creators Segel, Ted Lasso writer and co-creator Bill Lawrence, and Ted Lasso writer and cast member Brett Goldstein. He's there, he's every bleeping where. The first season will be comprised of 10 episodes. The first 2 of those premiere Friday, the 27th of January, 2023. And finally today, Apple on Wednesday released iOS 16.1.2, and you might be expecting me to say, and iPadOS 16.1.2, but no. While some of what's addressed in the iOS update could affect the iPad, the main feature addressed, crash detection, is not a feature of the tablet. I'm assuming that crash detection is the primary reason for the update, as accidental calls about non-accidents keep happening. The latest vector, ski slopes. The Mac Observer highlights a report from KSL-TV out of Salt Lake City, Utah. That report has county officials seeing an uptick in accidental emergency calls coming from iPhones that think they've detected a crash as their owners are coming down the mountain. For those who have not experienced it, TMO explains when iPhone 14 or newer models of the Apple Watch sense that a crash has taken place, the device sends a message prompt with an alarm. The user has 20 seconds to respond. Should the 20 seconds elapse without a response from the user, an automated message is sent to the nearest 911 call center. But, you're speeding down that double black diamond or whatever. How are you going to hear or feel the notification in time to cancel the call? With ski season underway, one county official says dispatch is getting 3 to 5 calls from Apple Watch or iPhone users per day. So far, none of those have been actual car crashes. Now the kicker. Summit County Dispatch Center Supervisor Susie Butterfield still wants skiers to leave the feature turned on. The piece quotes her as saying, "Somebody could ski and hit a tree and be knocked unconscious and not be visible to other skiers. We do not want you to turn the feature off. We would rather have you be safe. We don't mind taking that call because if something really did happen, we want to be able to get to you." Somebody please give Susie Butterfield an award. Anyway, between ski slope incidents and problems on certain roller coasters, it seems likely that the crash detection optimizations on iPhone 14 and iPhone 14 Pro models are the primary reason for the .1.2 update. Again, because the other feature in the update could affect iPad as well. In addition to the crash optimizations, Apple's release notes say the update offers improved compatibility with wireless carriers, something a 5G iPad might actually benefit from. There may also be security fixes tied to the teeny tiny update, though it's hard to say for sure right now. Currently, Apple's security site simply says, "Details available soon." Today on the Mac Observer's Daily Observations podcast, year's end can mean only one thing: war between Spotify and Apple Music. Nick DeCorville joins me to talk about the end-of-the-year music recaps, Wrapped, and Replay. Plus, new old content is officially included with Apple TV+, and Will Smith does PR for Emancipation. That is all today on the Daily Observations podcast from the Mac Observer, online at macobserver.com or wherever you get podcasts. macOS Ken, brought to you by me and sponsored by SimpliSafe. Get 50% off your new home security system by visiting simplysafe.com/macOSKen. This show is also sponsored by Rocket Money. Cancel unwanted subscriptions and save at rocketmoney.com/MOK. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media. Online at backbeatmedia.com. You can reach me a couple of ways. Info at macosken.com or call 716-780-4080. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Ciao.